This week on the Analog Circle podcast, Concord gets canceled permanently after being on the market a mere 2 weeks. Sony is up against the ropes when it comes to this whole GAAS situation. Microsoft could have 2 older, highly requested games coming back from Activision, going back to the Xbox platform. We get more alleged specs for the rumored PlayStation 5 Pro. And we get a bit of new news about Grand Theft Auto 6, and it kind of falls within the rumorville of things. But all of these stories can be found here and more in episode 223 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and welcome to the show. Welcome. We got a lot to talk about today. So go ahead, get your favorite beverage, sit down, relax, because we're going to have some good conversation. So before we officially get started, if you do want to be a part of listener feedback, and shout out to you, Cody Clark, brother, you wrote me a soliloquy this week, man. Goodness gracious, I can always depend on you to do that. But if you do want to be a part of listener feedback, you can do it 2 different ways. You can you can only do it one way right now because we don't have that phone number anymore. But if you do want to be a part of it, you can simply email the show, and the email address is easy. It's the name of the show. It is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into what we all come here for, and that is no doubt the gaming news that went down. So let's get things started with a story that I got from notebookcheck.net. So one of the biggest stories it was one of the biggest stories of the week, man, until Sony came out with this Concord situation, but we're going to get there in a little bit. But the PlayStation 5 Pro has reared its mythical head yet again. Now, last week we saw alleged leaked photos and, the Adidas stripes and all that stuff on the console. And we were told that it may not ship with a physical disc tray, but instead may be all digital. All of that stuff is still up in the air. We don't know what's going on with that. If it's all digital and it's no physical PlayStation 5 Pro, that could be a deterrent for me personally. But we're gonna talk about that in a little bit though. But this week we're getting alleged GPU specs from leaker at Kepler. His name is spelled KEPLER_L2, who says the PlayStation 5 Pro's GPU will perform on par with the AMD Radeon RX 7700 XT in rasterization. I don't even know what the heck that is with a rasterization. Who knows what that means? I might have to look that up. But outside of that, allegedly, its ray tracing performance will be better because of the mentioned feature. I guess that rasterization must be crazy with that ray tracing. Now, according to Notebook Check, they did an in-depth review of the RX 7700 XT and determined it could run most games at 4K 60, but not all. Now, it was also mentioned that the Pro could be held back performance-wise because of its aging Zen 2 CPU. So Sony's in-house technology called PlayStation Super Resolution, or they call it PSSR, that's going to have to do some heavy lifting to make games run at over 60 frames per second in 4K. But all questions allegedly about the PlayStation 5 Pro will be answered on September 9th. September 9th, these questions are supposed to be answered. Now, I got to say, brothers and sisters, I have no idea what a Radeon RX 77 XT is. I have no idea. So what I want to do, I want to go to our friend good old Google. And I want to check out and see what this actually means. How good is the performance on this joker? Well, again, according to doggone notebookcheck.net, they're saying that it's usually able to run games at 4K 60, but not all. Now, what that does tell me, before I try to look this up, what that tells me is a game like Grand Theft Auto 6, whoo, and we got some Grand Theft Auto news. Oh man, shout out to the brother, what's his name? I get to it in a second. But this tells me that games like GTA 6, man, I don't know. That mythical 4K 60 frames per second for GTA 6 on the PlayStation 5 Pro, I don't know if we're going to get that. I don't know, because of this aging CPU, this Zen 2 situation that is going on. So we'll have to see about that. But it is one thing that I want to do. Let's look up. Let's see how much, because that's another thing we don't know about the PlayStation 5 Pro. We don't know the price point. I think they're going to split it. I think it's going to be $649.99. Do I want it to be that price? Heck no. Because I can't afford it. But I'm thinking with the technology that they're going to have in this thing, it's going to be a little expensive, especially since we're going into year 4. November will be 4 years that these consoles have been out, and the price has done nothing but jump. It's got higher, not lower. Usually we would have been able to get these consoles by now in year 4, I would say for about $300, maybe $349.99. These jokers are still selling for full boat. So I don't know. That's why I'm thinking this PlayStation 5 Pro. Man, listen, this is the thing. I think that, I think the scalpers and PlayStation 5 people who went out there and bought the PlayStation 5 from these scalpers, I think that might have hurt our chances of the PlayStation 5 Pro possibly being, a price point that we're used to, $500, $400. I mean, we can kind of forget that, because I know PlayStation saw the demand and how many people were going out there paying an extra $100, $200, $300 for this console. So I'm sure that they sat back and said, man, shucks, I understand that only the hard of the hardcore are going to go out and buy this thing. But a lot of people went out there and they spent premium prices for our console. Let's see if we can push the bar a little bit further and see what they do. But what I want to do right now is I want to see how much a RX 7700 XT is, because I'm not very, very versed in PC gaming, and I don't really know too much about it when it comes to all of the specs and all that stuff. So let's see how much this joke costs. How much is a AMD Radeon RX 7700 XT? Let's see. All right, so it doesn't seem like it's that bad. It actually looks like Micro Center, shout out to Micro Center, I really rock with those dudes, it's selling for $419.99. eBay has it for $570. Amazon has it for $399. And it's got pretty high scores. I mean, it's got a 4.8 out of 5 on Micro Center and a 4.5 out of 5 on Amazon. So, I mean, you figure, okay, let's just round it off. Let's just say 400. Because these prices, they are kind of all over the place. eBay has it again for, well, not again, but eBay has it for $570. Now, this is the thing. I don't know if these are new or well, it got to be new, because I'm talking about Amazon and Micro Center. They don't sell used stuff. So let's just say, all right, let's just split it. Let's just say it's going to be about $400 for this thing. Oh, man. Oh, buddy. Yeah, I can see it coming in at $650. I mean, even teetering possibly to $700, because we know that on PC, you need more than just the graphics card. You got to get the memory. You got to get the RAM. You got to get, the monitor that you're going to be playing on, keyboard, mouse, all of that stuff, controller, with the console. All you got to do is worry about getting the console and the controller. That's it. You get all of the hookups. You already got a TV. And I understand the PC. They say you can hook it up to a TV now and all that stuff. Whatever. I got you. That's cool. But still, just looking at the price of this Radeon RX 7700 at $419.99 and $399 and then at $570. Like I said, let's just split it it might come in at $650, but it seems like, again, if the rumors are to be believed, we will find something out on September 9th. When is September 9th? Let me check. Is that next Monday? Let's see what we got right here on the calendar. September, it is a Monday. Have we ever seen a state of play on a Monday, though? That's the thing. I can't recall ever seeing a state of play on a Monday, maybe on a Tuesday or Wednesday, but never a Monday. So that seems a little skeptical right there. But again, all of this stuff is skeptical. This is all rumors and nobody knows for sure what's going to happen with it. So only time will tell. But if we can get something where it's running most games at 4K, 60 frames, and that it does a better job at the ray tracing and all of that stuff, that is a pretty big step up, but we shall see. Let's go ahead, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Games Radar. So let's switch over to some very weird Xbox news. Now, it's been no secret that games have been skipping the Xbox console. And if you're like myself, you may believe certain games are skipping it because of Series S limitations. I think that is a fair argument. I mean, we've seen these developers come out time and time again during this generation that say that the Series S is hard to code for. I don't know about coding, but it's just hard to work with. It's very, very difficult. The guy over at Rocksteady said he can't stand this doggone machine. So I'll take a step back though. Let's get back to the doggone story. Now, this is the thing. Now, what if you found out a developer wasn't skipping the platform for lack of power, but simply because Xbox refused to get back to the developer? Now, upcoming Souls-like game, I don't know how to pronounce this thing. It's spelled Enotria, Enotria. I know I'm saying it wrong, so pardon me, but I'm going to call it Enotria, Enotria, The Last Song. Now, this will be releasing day and date with the PlayStation 5 version on September 19th and is delayed indefinitely on Xbox because according to a developer at Jima Games, it's spelled Jymma, Jima Games, Xbox has not answered their emails about getting the game on the Xbox store for 2 months. They ghosted them. Now, this is the quote from them. They say, quote, "Unfortunately, at this time, we have to announce an indefinite delay on the Xbox version. We understand how disappointing this news is to the Xbox community. Unfortunately, despite our best efforts and the hard work of our dedicated team, we've encountered challenges that have delayed our release on the Xbox platform. We want to emphasize that this is not a decision we've made lightly. You can ask Xbox why they haven't answered us for 2 months. Obviously, they don't care about Enotria, and they don't care about you. The context is open, a store page and submission. We've Xbox Series XS versions ready, but we can't proceed with submission and release. I spent a lot of money for porting and they decided to ignore us." God, dog. Now, oh man. This is something. So it's one of these situations where these guys want to be on the Xbox platform. They want to be there day and date. But yet here we are again, PlayStation getting another game pretty much exclusively to themselves And it's kind of by default because Xbox didn't reach out to this developer in 2 months to get the doggone process going to get the game vetted for their console. What the world is going on? Matter of fact, I think I heard that they even cut back on the people that are there for the certification to get it on the Xbox console. Some of those people are not there, and that team has been shrunk down. I mean, God, dog. Here it is. Your fans, Xbox fans, went out and spent between $300 to $500, if not more, if they got it in the pandemic, because I know it's hard to believe now the way Xbox is kind of in shambles a little bit. But at one point in time, the Xbox Series X actually was selling a little bit. It was doing pretty good, the X and the S. But, since it's kind of, slowing down a little bit. But those people that got it in the height of the pandemic, they paid more than the $300 or the $500 price tag at one point in time. Now, I'm not going to say that it lasted as long as the doggone PlayStation 5's price hike did, as far as the scalpers go. But like I said, one point in time, they were able to charge a little bit more. But I want to get back to this story. So this is the thing. This thing has kind of went and fallen into the black myth Wukong rumors, where people started to claim that PlayStation bought exclusivity rights to this game, but the official Anatria Twitter account spoke out about this and said, because they wanted to shut down all of these rumors before they started. They said, quote, "The only thing Sony did was work with us on getting the game ready on their platform." God darn.
Move this man!
God darn. That's all Sony did. Microsoft didn't even get back to these jokers. And this is a small team. They got limited resources. That ain't my problem. But I'm just saying, God, dog, when they're trying to reach out to you to get something on your platform, when the new news, surrounding your platform is you don't get games day and date because of, these limitations and restrictions that you have as far as parity goes with the Series X and the S, and games are just skipping your platform. This just does not make that situation look better. So again, for people that thought that Sony went out there and got exclusivity rights to this new game that's coming out, they told y'all the only thing Sony did was help them to get their game to their platform. Now, Yama Games did have some positive news by saying that there aren't any performance issues or technical reasons keeping the game off the Xbox platform, and said, quote, "The game works better as expected on Series S and really good on Series X, but we cannot proceed through the submission process, and the reply from Microsoft can take up to 2 months." End of quote. Golly, so what is going on over at Microsoft where you will not get back to these developers? They're telling you, they're almost begging on 2 knees, please help us. We want to put the game on your platform. We want to get it there. We want to make sure that the Xbox community is playing this game at the same time. The PC community is playing it, and the PlayStation community is playing it. Reach out to us. Let us know something. We are very, very interested. And as Joker said, they put money up. He put money up to put it on your console, and you had no, wait a minute, what? Oh, shucks. Oh, shucks. Think I might have jumped the gun here, brothers and sisters. Man, oh man, it's crazy how things work sometimes. Okay, all right. It looks like this situation has been, looks like it has been taken care of. It looks like Oh man, pardon me. I got a little excited. I got a little too pumped up. You know, here it is, Xbox doing these same bona fide moves as it were. Come to find out, sometimes I need to read my notes just a little bit better. Ah, man. Okay, so it looks like the Xbox community actually got in contact with Xbox, and it looks like it got to the right channels, and Phil Spencer, he reached back out to these guys. Somebody from Xbox reached out to him, and they're trying to get this situation back on track. So, Darren, well, shout out to that. No, I ain't going to boo him. Man, frick that. No, this should have never happened, man. Wait a minute. Now, hold on. Now, it's good. The doggone they got back to him. But what is going on? Why did it take so long? I mean, is it really that much of a skeleton crew inside of the certification building to get these games on Xbox? Listen, we all, I think we can all agree. And I want to just kind of calm down a little bit. And I just want to explore this just for a second. Logically. Now, I think that we can all agree that there are some major changes that are happening inside of Xbox that I think any fan would question at this point in time. Will the console be around? Will it be around in the next 10 years? Will it be around next generation? Because I understand the sister Sarah Bond, she came out and said what she said. They're working on the next Xbox. They got this thing lined up. It's going to be a technical marvel and all of that stuff. That ain't what she said verbatim, but pretty much saying the next system that they're working on is going to be fantastic, have some new technology in it and all of that good stuff. Cool. It sounds great. But we have also seen Xbox say things and things go in a totally opposite direction. Indiana Jones, anybody? Where Phil Spencer sat up there and said that doggone Indiana Jones was not going over to PlayStation. And 5 or 6 months later, 7 or maybe somewhere around there, it's going to PlayStation. So their word really doesn't mean much. It's all about the actions for me at this point in time. And their actions show that they can flip on a dime. So looking at the different moves that are taking place, these jokers not even knowing that these guys were reaching out to them via email for 2 months and was delayed. Nobody got back to them. That just shows it's like a breakdown in communication inside of the Xbox building. And we see that this has been brewing for quite some time now, where it seems like they are just out of touch with some of the moves that they've been making. So I think that, this is a good thing that they reached out to them, that they're trying to remedy this situation. But guess what? Again, this game is coming out. Let me see. What did I say? September 19th, I believe. I want to make sure I got that date right. Let me go back and see. Well, I can't even find the date. I believe it's September 19th, though, that it is going to be releasing for the PlayStation 5. But that means that because of this holdup of people not getting back to this developer, this game is not going to release on Xbox Series X day and date with the PlayStation version. Well, I don't want to jump out the window and say that. I don't know who. Man, September 19th is right around the corner. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off. So just so I'm not giving false information, I'll just say I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to get it onto the console in that little bit of time. But I do know that it's a guarantee that if you have a PlayStation 5, you'll be getting this game on the original release date that it was set to release on. So, yeah, it's just one of those moves again that Xbox is doing. You gotta blame them. This falls under their watch. the developer, they reached out to him for 2 months and got no response. They had to turn to the Xbox community and ask for help. Tell these jokers come holler at me, babe. I've been trying to get them on the doggone email, phone, and these jokers ain't even reaching back. Somebody help us. These jokers. Oh, man, Xbox. God, dog. Listen, man, I'm not going to harp on this. I don't want to beat this doggone, this donkey down no more. I mean, doggone, joker. Man, this thing has been, I think I beat it down enough. Did I say a donkey? I'm in horse. Pardon me. Oh, man, we'll see what happens with this, though. This game, I'm going to tell you one thing, though. This is great PR. This is great PR, though, because for people that weren't aware of this game, Anatra, spelled Enotria, Anatra, a lot of people know about this game now that did not know about it. And I looked it up. I was like, man, it's probably one of them little small little titles that ain't going to really matter too much. I'll be honest with you, man. It's Anatria. Man, this thing looked pretty doggone good. Y'all know I don't even play Demon Souls type games because I ain't got the game and mental fortitude for it. I ain't got the patience. So these kind of games, they do not appeal to me. But if I was going off of the presentation of the game, like graphically, man, this joker look pretty doggone good. I think you might want to, have this on your console, Microsoft. This is pretty good. I mean, I understand that they said that, now this was kind of funny. Now I'm about to get up off of this subject because I'm getting long-winded with it. But it was funny that in the article, they did kind of hint to the point, the developer, that they didn't want them on their platform. Pretty much like, man, they ain't getting back to us, so they must not want us, But this is what I want to point out about that. Even if that was the case, let's say that this was purposely done. Let's shoot Xbox / Microsoft. Let's shoot them some bail. I shoot them some bail. And let's say that they didn't want this on their platform. This was a game they weren't checking for. They didn't like it. They didn't like the content of it. Maybe it was too mature or whatever. I mean, I doubt that, but I'm just saying, just for the sake of, the conversation, let's just say that it was something about it that they didn't like. And they were like, man, we're just going to keep on ignoring them and not say anything. They'll go away eventually. But instead of just going away, they went to the community and asked for help. And now, of course, it hasn't become official yet, but it looks like the game is actually going to be on the Xbox platform. And I only mention that because people always like to say, well, not all, because you can't generalize everybody, but some people are under the impression that we can't make change, that these companies are going to do what they want to do no matter what, and that we can't do anything about it. We just got to sit there and take it. But here it is. This is a great example of what can happen when a community actually rallies around a certain developer, or not even just the developer, because to me it's bigger than just the developer. But whenever we can all get together and actually sing or talk in one unison about a certain situation, we can get things done. Things will happen because at the end of the day, these companies want our money. We are in total control of what happens. So I just don't want to hear that whole thing about we have no say. We can't do anything about it. Nah, that's BS. This situation proves that you can move things if you come together as a community. Let's go ahead, guys, though. Let's go ahead and let's move on, though, for the sake of time, to the next story. Now, this next story that I got was from PSU. So, hold on, man. I don't want to talk about this right now. Hold on, man. Wait. I got to ask y'all something. Oh, shucks. It's almost slipped my mind. Did y'all see? Oh, shucks. Did y'all see the reviews for Astrobot? Man, let me tell you something, brother. This game, as it stands right now, doggone Astrobot is sitting. Take a guess. I'll give you 2 seconds to take a guess what the score is on this game. Now, 1, 2. The score on this game on Metacritic is a daggone 94. 94. Critically acclaimed. 94. This is in an elite group of games. 94. I mean, these reviews are bananas right now. I'm going to lose my voice by the time this podcast is over. But it is incredible. People have been saying it's one of the best games Sony has ever made. And it's a platformer. I'm telling you, Astrobot, I have said it since I played the game, the one that came with the PS5. I've said it. This game can go toe-to-toe with Mario. And I think it can, blow for blow. Mario is not going to just beat Astrobot like, oh, man, you're just in the small leagues. No. This game has been claimed as one of the best, most fun games, just so much joy. One of the reviewers said that this game brought them so much doggone joy as they were playing it. Somebody else was saying that, and I believe them too. They were saying that this is the best, this is the best, what is it? Like demonstration of what the controller is fully capable of. And I said that from the original Astrobot, the small, pack-in version that I have never played a game since that has taken more advantage of that PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, than doggone Astrobot. So I can only imagine what they're going to be able to do with a full-fledged release. A game with an actual budget behind it. Now, I'm not saying the budget is crazy. $200 million. Game don't look like it costs nearly that much. But it's that fun factor that a lot of people are talking about. And that was the thing about the original that really got me excited. I mean, Team Asobi, God dog it. These guys are vetted. They're an amazing, amazing team. And next Monday, I don't know. When I think about that, because I think Astrobot comes out next Monday on the 9th. I don't know if we're going to get a state of play on the same day Astrobot is coming out. I mean, it makes sense. It would make sense to give it a nice, big coming out party, I'm coming out. It would be awesome, for that to happen, but I don't know. But either way, this game is sitting at a 94. I am saying it now. I said it before. I'm going to double down on it. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm riding on this ship until the doggone bow falls out. This game is going to be nominated for Game of the Year. Now, whether or not it wins or not, God doggone phone, cut this out. Hold on. Let me cut these notifications off. If it wins or not, that's a different conversation. But I can tell you this is going to be in the running for Game of the Year. It is absolutely amazing. Amazing to see. And I can't wait to pick it up. Man, speaking of picking up, hold on too. Oh, shucks. I meant to tell y'all, brothers and sisters, I picked up Star Wars Outlaws and God dog it. I don't know what these reviews talking about, brother. I'm going to tell y'all something. I got about 9 to 10 hours in that game, Star Wars Outlaws. Man, let me tell you something, brothers. Let me tell you something. I have enjoyed myself. Joker saying it's average and the shooting is just running the mill and all of this other stuff. Man, I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of doggone fun. Now, as far as the story goes, I'm still kind of early. I'm trying to figure it out to a certain degree. The different characters, different players, and all of that stuff in this underworld. But I can tell you that for me, gameplay-wise, it's tight. I'm enjoying it. Graphics-wise, it look good to darn me. It looks real good. It looks doggone real good. It looks as advertised. They didn't pull a dag on Watch Dogs back from the original Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. They ain't pull that on us with this one. This Joker looks as advertised in the doggone videos. And just that alone made me just bump it up a couple points because I'm like, wow. Finally a game. I'm not going to say finally because they've been doing pretty good with actually, what the game looks like in a mock-up state, versus when it comes out to market. They've been pretty good about that, this generation. But just to see this game actually come out as advertised, man, I was so happy about that because I was nervous. Low key, I was like, ooh, I hope they don't pull the Watch Dogs on all of us with this game. But, graphics wise, like I said, looks great. Story wise, I'm still, like I said, trying to figure out the different characters, different players and all of that stuff, who are in this world. But I will say that Ubisoft, they went back to the drawing board a little bit. And actually, in my opinion, I think they kind of took from something that they did in the past, with Splinter Cell, because I think it was Splinter Cell Double Agent, where you kind of had to play both factions, where you had to, be an agent, but yet be in the underworld, as it were. We haven't seen that since. From my understanding, I know Watch Dogs is out there. I haven't played Watch Dogs Legion yet. I have it. I don't know if that might have been a bit of a situation with that, but I'm just speaking for myself personally. I haven't seen the mechanic, of having to play both sides of the fence, in the game since Double Agent, Splinter Cell. And I love the fact that you're able to make these different decisions. Like you'll go on a mission, I don't want to ruin it, but I'll say that they give you this one mission. They gave me an option to either hand over these documents that I got to the person that hired me for the job, or if I would defect and actually go to another faction or a syndicate and actually give them the documents. It was dope. It was really, really good. Now, I don't know how deep that mechanic is going to go. I don't know if it's going to unravel at the end where it doesn't really make a lot of change, to actually what's going on in the game. I do know that it is a wanted system, God dog, and I landed somewhere and man, well, it was a code red on a brother. It was straight up code red, wanted on the doggone screen blinking. So there definitely are ramifications, and situations that can come with the decisions that you make. Again, I'm not that far into it to actually be able to tell whether or not it's going to have long-term effects on how the playthrough is going to go. But so far, it's been really good. And I know that people have been complaining about the game being a lot of sneak missions and all of that stuff. Guess what? You got what you wanted. You got Splinter Cell 2024 right now in the Star Wars doggone universe. I'm playing. Nah, not really. But it definitely is some sneaking around and Splinter Celling up in this joint. So if you were missing Sam Fisher, I know that another character doesn't take the place of Sam Fisher or that world. But man, it's a lot of sneaking around going on. But I have actually enjoyed it. And y'all know I am not that kind of game. I want to go in guns blazing. I want to shoot up the whole place. I don't want to have to be sneaking around, creeping around, walking around real slow like I'm doggone the dude from Menace to Society trying to run out to the car looking all around and looking obvious like he about to commit a crime. I don't want to do that all the time. But in this game, I find myself enjoying it. Yeah, it's a little frustrating. I will be honest. It's certain times I got on a mission and I got caught. Oh my gosh, man. I'd be like, daggone, not again. But I just say to myself, you got to do better. Got to do better. So for me, I'm not going to give it a score right now. Like I said, I'm about 9, maybe almost 10 hours in. I'm not going to give it a score, but I will say at the moment, I have been really enjoying it. I'm not going to recommend, if I did say I recommend you get it, I'm not going to recommend you get it. I'm just going to say it like this. If it was a game that you were interested in, y'all know my stance on that. If it's a game that you were interested in, Don't let the reviewers dictate to you if you want to pick this up or not. Because even though I was looking at the reviews and I saw where they were landing, I heard some people saying it was the worst Star Wars game they had ever played. It was trash and all of this other stuff. And I was like, man, bump y'all. I'm still going out to get it because this is the game I've been anticipating for over a year. And for me, for my enjoyment, it has hit all the buttons that I had hoped that it would. So again, if this is something that you were interested in, bump them doggone reviewers. Go out there, pick it up. If you can get it cheaper, always, get it cheaper if you can. But I would say go out there and get it. But that's all I'm gonna say about Star Wars Outlaws right now. I've just really, really been enjoying it. The speeder bike, that joint is nice, the different upgrades you can do. I got into outer space. I just said that I wasn't going to talk about this game no more, but wait, give me about 30 more seconds. I went into outer space, had a dog fight out there. That was it looked good. I mean, graphically, man, I was like, woo, this is nice. This is real nice physics and all going on out there. But I will say that the handling of the ship, the handling was fine. But I flipped my ship over like at a 180 where the top was at the bottom was at the top. And I couldn't seem to flip it back around for some reason. So I don't know if that was a glitch or something that happened. I mean, eventually after I got shot enough times, it was like the ship, it got some get right and it flipped back over and everything was cool. The dog fighting though, trying to keep locked onto a target, it is a little hard, which is fine. I mean, you're supposed to feel tense, where you're trying to catch up to an enemy and shoot them, but overall it was good. It's been solid. I've been really enjoying it. I've only been to like 1 or 2 planets at this point in time. It does have a checkpoint system. Once you get to certain areas, you can fast travel to those different areas that you get checkpointed at. So it's been good though, but I don't want to waste a whole lot of time more, talking about it, but I am enjoying it. But guys, let's go ahead though, and let's get into the next story that I actually got. And I said it before, but I'll say it again and we're going to jump into it. PSU. All right. So even though Sony continues, right, they continue to lock down second and third party deals on their platform, which is good. It is no doubt, though, that first party has been very, very quiet when it comes to certain studios. But according to a LinkedIn profile, one studio appears to have a few things on their plate. So Albertina is spelled Albertina, Albertina Chu, who is a senior manager at the company. Her resume mentions that she is working on several unannounced titles and is believed to have divided into 2 teams. Now, what studio was this? Did I even write down the studio? Doggone it. I believe it was Corey Barlog's studio. Well, it's not his studio, but Sony Santa Monica. I believe that's who this is. They are dividing. I can't believe I didn't write down the doggone studio though. But they appear to be breaking into 2 different studios, and they have several different things on their plate. So again, we know that Sony is going to be at Tokyo Game Show. We know that they're allegedly supposed to be having a state of play sometime allegedly next week. We'll find out. And if that is the case, hopefully these guys will be able to show something off. It would be absolutely fantastic. So these guys are working, Sony, they're working. But man, these jokers got some problems though. But anyway, I wish I could tell y'all what studio it was for sure. So pardon me for actually not being able to give you the information in full. Doggone. We'll see though. I feel like I need to look this up. I feel like I got a duty to look this up real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all bear with me just for a minute as I talk and I ramble while trying to figure this out. Cause I don't want to leave this for chance. Let's see. What's the person's name again? All right. Albertina. Let's see, NHU, LinkedIn. Yeah, pardon me about this, doggone. Yeah, it is Sony Santa Monica. Okay, so doggone. My darn, my memory came in handy. Okay, so it is Sony Santa Monica. So again, they're divided into two teams and they're working on several unannounced titles. So hopefully one of those, we've been hearing rumors that God of War, the original one, is supposed to be coming back. The first one and the second one possibly making a comeback. Who knows if that's something that they're working on top of what Cory Barlog is already working on. So this thing could be really, really good. Once we get there to when they're ready to make some announcements, but we'll see. I don't want to beat this one too much, but let's go ahead and let's move on into the next story that I actually got from Ben Zinga. So the struggles at GameStop, God, dog, they have been a problem ever since games have gone digital, and as a result, have been selling more than the physical versions. I hate it. I absolutely hate that is the case, but that is the world that we live in right now. But GameStop has decided to pivot by converting some locations of their stores into retro gaming outlets to sell old school consoles and video games. Now, GameStop said, and I quote, "The classics are back. New retro GameStops are now spawning near you." End of quote. Play on words. Oh, man. But on GameStop's website, you can find retro games for sale if you can't get to one of the retro stores physically. I believe they're going to be carrying Super Nintendo, original Nintendo, original PlayStation, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, 3, Dreamcast, Nintendo DS. It was a whole list of them. I think Sega Saturn was on there, I believe. But it is a list of like 20 systems, like 18 to 20 systems that they're going to be having, not only just the hardware, but software as well. So, again, GameStop having to pivot, having to do things a little differently. I was one of the people that have never really had a beef with GameStop. I mean, maybe it's because I don't really trade in any of my games, because once I found out how much they were giving for the games, I was like, man, I won't be ripped off. I just won't trade them in. I never was one of those people that would be mad. Like, man, I can't believe y'all giving me this much money for this. Y'all know they gonna rip you off. That is the running joke. It's been a running joke for like 2 decades almost, that they're going to be ripping you off for your games. You're better off selling them on eBay or doing what we used to do back in the day. I trade you this game for your game, even though that doesn't really happen a lot, I'm sure, today. But back in the day, you had a bartering system, doggone it. I got doggone Contra. Let me get your Life Force cartridge, shooter, your Kung Fu joint. I trade you for a week, 7 days. Deal. Let's go. You take it to school or whatever in the backpack. You be all excited all day long after you traded at lunch, or early in the morning, and you couldn't wait to get back home. But, again, I don't even know how the heck I even got on that. But, yeah, so basically, though, man, getting back on topic, God, dog. This is what they're doing. Again, they're having to pivot, trying to stay in the game, trying to stay in business. I got here because I was saying I wasn't mad about their prices and all. I mean, it's business at the end of the day. A lot of people wanted to boycott GameStop. I was really never for that, because again, I love physical copies of games. And unfortunately, that seems to be coming to a semi-screeching halt if things continue to keep moving in the direction that they're moving in. So again, it's a pivot. You'll be able to go to them for your retro game needs. Man, I'm going to tell you, God, dog, I'm thinking though. I'm really thinking, man, some of those old school games, they are expensive. Certain cartridges that you get, certain games from the original PlayStation era, man, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I would be interested to see how much money they would be giving you for some of this retro stuff, you know, like the consoles or whatever may have you. But we'll see what happens with this. Only time will tell. But guys, I wanted to talk about another game that I have been excited about getting another great score on Metacritic, and that is Warhammer 40K. Warhammer 40K is sitting pretty lovely. Warhammer 40K is sitting at a 83 Metacritic. 83! I mean, this game looks beautiful. It's running Unreal Engine 5, my favorite engine, by the way. In case you didn't know, it's running on that. It looks great. I was, from the reviews, I said that the gameplay is really well done. The story is, they said it's actually a pretty good story. So I'm very interested in that. And again, if this was one of those games that you were interested in, then you can rest assured that if you like going off of the reviews, that 83, sitting at an 83, this game is sitting very, very well. Sitting good. This was a game that I actually picked up on a little later. I was just talking about this game maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like, man, this is actually turned into one of my most anticipated games, like Star Wars Outlaws. At that time, I didn't mention Astrobot. Astrobot is definitely one of my most anticipated games of the year, and I can't wait to get my hands on that. But I just wanted to talk about Warhammer just for that 1 minute. But guys, let's go ahead and let's get into a story. And this one I didn't write down. I'm going to try to remember this one off the top of the dome piece. This could go completely off the rails, but I'm going to try to hold it together. But we actually got a report. Now, this was from, his name is Middle Age Gamer, Mag, Middle Age Gamer. He was on a podcast and he actually said, now I will give Mag some credit. I actually like Mag. Mag is kind of funny. I actually like that brother. He's all right with me. But he was actually on a podcast and he had said, now, of course, I mean, we gotta tell it for what it is. It definitely is rumors. Ta-da!
Rumor has it is something that only I know.
Yeah, so we got to put it up under there. That this is just a rumor. So take it with the mustard seed of truth. But he said that PlayStation 5 or PlayStation in general has got the marketing rights to Grand Theft Auto 6. They got the marketing rights. He said not only did they get the marketing rights, but it's going to be revealed. It was like a twofer. It's going to be revealed at the Video Game Awards that they got the marketing rights, and at the Video Game Awards, they're going to be showing off Grand Theft Auto 6.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm like, man, are you serious? You mean to tell me now again, this is rumors. But just, put it out there, rumors. I have never seen doggone Rockstar show up to anything in any capacity for forever. So that's why I'm a little skeptical on this. Now, I'm not saying that it's not out of the realm of possibility that Sony will get the marketing rights to Grand Theft Auto 6. That's not the thing that I'm having a bit of a hard time digesting. It's the fact that this announcement is going to happen at the Game Awards and that they're going to show off a new trailer of Grand Theft Auto 6 there. So we'll definitely, man, we going definitely follow this one very closely with a Sherlock Holmes doggone eyeglass out this mother level. What do they call it? The ain't a microscope, but Yeah, the thing he put up to his eye, man, I ain't going there. I botched that whole deal. But y'all know the thing that doggone Sherlock Holmes used for his eye to magnify things. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, we're going to definitely keep a close eye on this to see if that actually happens. And I'm going to tell you, hey, Brother Mag, if it does happen that way, whoo, might have to take stuff you say a little more seriously, because that would be big. That would be on the lines of closing the show. You closed the show with that kind of announcement. So if that happens, that'll be great. But again, don't get excited too much, because again, it is rumors, and only time will tell if this is true or not. But guys, let's go ahead though, and let's get into the next story. So now, I just talked about this game. I forgot I wrote this down, but Space Marines 2. So when Focus Entertainment, they actually have come out to talk about the performance that we can expect when it comes to Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. When it releases on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. The quality mode they have will enable 4K resolution at 30 frames per second. I know it's that 30. We don't like that 30 at the 4K, but again, it's Unreal Engine 5. This thing is taxing like a mother lover. So it's kind of understanding, but that's in quality mode. Let me see. In performance mode though, it enables, quote, up to, end of quote, 60 frames per second at 1080p. So again, it's one of those situations that they were talking about with Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, or the remake of that game. It was the same thing. It'll run it at 1080p, 60 frames per second. That doggone Unreal Engine, again, 5 is a doggone monster. So it's definitely tearing up these consoles, as it were. Now, as far as the Series X, or what I would like to call the little engine that could, or couldn't, but I ain't had to take that shot. God, dog, I didn't have to do that to the daggone Series X. I couldn't help myself, though. I couldn't help it. I had to. I had to shoot at it. I had to. Oh, man. God, dog. All right, man. A little engine that could, Series S. Now, they said this is actually kind of impressive, though. It will run at 1440p at 30 frames per second. Now, as far as the performance mode, now this is the thing right here. It ain't none. It is no performance mode on the doggone Series S. You go and get that doggone 1440p, 30 frames per second option, and that's it. That's what you got. That's all you got. Nothing more. You ain't got no quality mode. All you got is the daggone, is the quality mode. You ain't got performance mode, pardon me. So 1440p at 30 frames per second. But in all honesty, just stopping riffing on the Series S for a minute. That's actually pretty good, though. That's what they advertised the Series S to be able to do, to be fair. They said it was a 1440p gaming console. So them actually being able to do that on Unreal Engine 5 on the Series S, that is pretty good. That's good. But again, performance mode isn't available. Now, the game on the Series S version, but the game will offer, now these are some of the features. It will offer full crossplay between Steam, PlayStation 5, Epic Game Store, and Xbox Series consoles. Now, you will, let me see, where did I put it? Yeah, you will also be able to cross-platform save via the platform Prism Ray Online Services, or it's called PROS, PROS. But LAN play is not supported. Now, also, just to clear up some possible concerns about the crossplay situation, PC players will be separated from console players, quote, for fairness and balancing purposes. So that's awesome. That is awesome. And I ain't even going to do that. I botched that whole thing. That's good, though. That's good that that's going to happen. You'll be able to make sure that everybody is staying in the same pool that they're supposed to be in, and nobody's going to get an unfair advantage. This game is going to be good, man. Very, very excited about it. I think it's going to do well when it hits the market. For people like myself that have been really kind of fiending for a bit of a Gears of War game, you know, a kind of Gears-esque experience, I think it'll definitely scratch that itch, even if it's just a little bit. But let's go ahead, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Games Radar. Now, we got to talk about, man. God dog. All right. Yeah, we got to talk about this. Sony has crashed and burned when it comes to Concord. Now, Concord has completely flopped, so much so that the game is being taken offline. Now, Firewalk Studio game director Ryan Ellis said, and I quote, God dog, aspects of the game and our initial launch, that didn't land the way we'd intended. End of quote. And because of that, quote, and because of that, Sony has decided to take the game offline on September 6th. Now, Ryan continues and says, quote, while we determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game for PS5 and PC.
But wait, it gets worse.
Oh, shucks. The game, God dog it. You're going to get your money back. This is the thing. PlayStation never gives you a dime. Their customer service sucks to the highest level there is. So for them to actually give you your money back, God dog, you know it's bad. I think this game sold, 25,000 copies? Oh, shucks. 25,000 copies this game sold. Now, I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest. I respect the PlayStation fans gangster with this. This is gangsterism right here. This is a hostile takeover. These jokers came out in such a small portion that Sony said, man, darn this, hands up. We give up. We gonna just cancel this joker. We don't want y'all to remember this. We want to erase it from your memory. This is definitely the biggest flop I've ever seen Sony have. 25,000 copies. Woo! 25,000! Man, that joker didn't even go wood. That joker didn't even go paper. 25,000 copies were sold. God, dog, from a first-party studio. Sheesh. Now, this is the thing. Now I got to kind of pump the brakes here. And I know we're going a little long. We're going over an hour, so pardon me. But I got to pump the brakes with some people that want to talk about this is the worst game ever made in the history of gaming and whatnot. In some kind of way, they want to act like this is a loss for PlayStation, but a win for Xbox with doggone Redfall and whatnot. Man, you out your daggone mind. How the world? All right, granted, PlayStation is taking this off the market. Yes, it's gone. Redfall, yeah, you'll be able to play that mother lover today, tomorrow, a year from now, whatever the case may be, however long it's around. But don't get it misconstrued like the game, like doggone Concord actually came out broken. Like doggone Redfall, like Like they lied about what Concord was versus them lying about Redfall running at 60 frames per second. We got to kind of keep things in perspective here. You know, the game didn't get supported. That was the main problem when it came to Concord. PlayStation saw that this was a no-win situation, that the fan base had spoken. They were not going to be swayed by this game. It was dead in the water. They saw it and said, you know what? Let's just scrap it. That's what happened. There were some people that said they enjoyed it. There were others that said this thing was whack from the door. It was a whack idea and should have never, ever came to the market. So we get that. But the game did work. It worked out the gate. It just wasn't for everybody. So just knock it off when you want to talk about Redfall is a better product than Concord. Now, granted, I never played Concord. I never played Redfall. I mean, you look at the numbers on Concord. Whoa. Yeah, that's bad. That's real, real bad. You know, and it's a huge flop. No doubt about it. Can't take that away. This game absolutely flopped like a fish out of water. But don't get the two mixed up where a game flopping is like it coming out broken like Redfall did. That's all I'm saying. So, again, this is another great situation when it comes to the fan base having control over what happens. Sony saw that the fan base wasn't rocking with this. Again, they said, let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of that ugly baby. We don't want it out here no more. Let's sweep it under the rug. Let's act like it didn't happen. And to a degree, to a certain degree, I appreciate that. I do. Because that means that Sony, at least for this situation, has their hand on the pulse of what their customer base wants. And this is, again, this goes back to people actually not accepting what this corporation, because that's what they are, Sony, what they were trying to force feed to their fan base. They said, man, bump that. We ain't supporting this stuff right here. Nah, we ain't giving you our money for that. Skip. We're going to skip this one right now. We're going to move on to something else. That's not what we want. PlayStation saw that. They said, well, let's take it off the market then. That's not what they feeling. Let's move on. And this also makes me wonder, because usually when you have something coming up big, you want to make sure that you have a clean slate. You want to make sure that you don't have anything that could interfere with the future announcement that's coming out, because you don't want bad feelings lingering around when you give out good news. So this makes me think that very soon, now I'm not saying it's going to happen on the 9th of September. It would be great if it did. We'll have to find out in the next couple days if it happens. But this makes me feel like Sony is trying to wipe the slate clean so they can come out with some great news, some great information that we're all looking forward to, and they can present that with no baggage, zero baggage. Y'all said y'all didn't like Concord. Guess what? Shh. We axed it. It's over. We took it out to the pasture and we yellered it, as it were. So, I mean, this is good news on that front. Again, it comes off as them knowing exactly what their fan base will accept and won't accept, and they're not force feeding it. Now, that's not to say that they won't turn back around and try it again. You know how these corporations are. Okay, we couldn't do it, from the front. We're going to sneak in through the back door and try it. So I wouldn't doubt that Concord may come back in some kind of shape or form at a different time. But at least for now, and that's all we can speak on, is in the now, it looks like they've taken the criticism and they are moving on, at least at the moment. So we'll see how this whole situation shakes out. We'll see what happens. And this was a huge, huge fail on their part. Again, the community coming together, telling you what they will and won't accept, and having the money do the talking. That's all you got to do. You don't like it, don't give them your money. And they'll move on and they'll try to figure something else out. That's why, again, I'm never concerned about these mother lovers' money. The only time and the only reason why I even think about their money and get a little concerned is because, again, I want them to have enough money so that they can keep their doors open and I can continue to get this great gaming entertainment that I love. That's the only reason. I don't care if you're on life support, whatever the case may be, as far as a company. As long as you got enough money to keep going, that's all I'm concerned about. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and let's move on into the next story. Actually, I don't even want to move into the next story yet. Actually, I don't know if you guys are aware of a game that is coming out I believe it's next year. I'm going to find it real quick. Hold on, here we go. It's a game coming out next year.
The year is 1959.
Hold on, here it is. Yeah, this is it right here. Hold on, let me play this clip. It is actually, the name of the game is called Deliver at All Costs. Now, this game is supposed to be coming out next year. I would definitely look it up, but let's listen to the trailer together. Here we go with the trailer.
The year is 1959, a time of rock and roll, polka dot dresses, and the ever-looming dread of nuclear annihilation. Before you is Winston Green.
So, a couple of years back, all roads led me to St. Monique. That's where everything kicked off. Clever. And a good courier, even.
Whoa! You gotta be kidding me!
Oh, but I trust you about as much as a penguin trusts a shark as a swimming buddy.
Warning.
Hey, stop that!
Device activated. Please avoid impact.
Whoa, what the?
Deliver at all costs, brothers and sisters. God dog it. Yeah. It's actually by a studio called Far Out Games. I've never heard of these guys. They seem to be kind of new on the scene, but this game, Deliver at All Costs, I highly recommend looking up this trailer. The physics in this game look incredible. The destruction in this game looks very, very good. It's like an isometric. I can't even quite say it's isometric. It's hard to explain what kind of angle the game is on, but if I had to, I would say it's isometric. But man, this thing looks so doggone good. It takes place in the 1950s. It looks like you're a getaway driver. You actually get out on foot, for certain missions, looks like. But this was a game that really caught my eye. And I would just recommend you check it out. Let me know what you think of it. And yeah, we'll see what happens with this in the future. But guys, I want to go ahead though and move on into the next story. And I think, is this the last story? I believe. Yep, this is the last story for the week. And I actually got this from TFW 2005. So we heard not too long ago, that Microsoft would be making a push to get back the licenses of some previously published games by Activision. Well, this is good news, because falling in line with that news story, there is now 2 new ratings classification entries that have turned up at the Australian Classification Board, where movies, video games, and other entertainment properties are rated and classified. And in those findings, there are ratings for 2 Transformer products. Now, someone could say, maybe it's a new TV show, maybe it's a movie, maybe it's some kind of animation production that's going on, but it's 2 dead giveaways to tell us both of these Transformer products are video game based. Now, one, beside the, it's a line that says, quote, production company. It's a production company line. It says beside that, that production company line, it says Microsoft Studios. And in the rated column, that is a dead giveaway. In the quote rated column, it says, quote, online interactivity, scary scenes, end of quote. Now, one thing that I found very intriguing was when it came to the column that says, quote, version, end of quote. One of the entries says original. The other entry says modified. So could we possibly be getting a remake or remastered version of War for Cybertron? Now, also, one thing to note, the Australian board publishes such entries that we just went over when they are near their publishing dates. So it is a possibility that maybe in the very, very close future, we will hear something about these 2 Transformer games, getting an update as to what they may be. So again, when I saw that line that says modified, it made me think. Now, we know that the Series X, they have been great at having games actually bump up the frame rate, the resolution. I'm guessing that that's probably what's going to happen in War for Cybertron. I forgot the other name of the Transformer game that came out, but I'm guessing that if it is modified, it may be something on those lines. Would a remaster be great? Sure, but a remake would be much, much better. So we will see what happens with this. And by the way, the name of the website, I know is TFW, but it actually stands for Transformers World. So this is a website that actually covers Transformers news, for the most part, exclusively. So these guys, they definitely would be on top of this. Again, we can't say that this is 100% what's happening, but, we do know, again, that this Australian Classification Board has these 2 Transformer games, where they are being rated. So only time will tell. This gives me a vote of confidence that, what Phil Spencer was talking about, when he was saying that they were on a mission to get back Marvel Alliance, and they were trying to get Deadpool, back as well. Some of those other, Activision published games. That definitely bodes well. And then with this Transformer news actually coming out as well, it could be a slew. The only other time I can think that they may be having something as far as Xbox goes, because we know they're not going to be a Tokyo Game Show. That makes me think that January might be the the closest date or month, to Microsoft actually doing something. So we'll see. I mean, only time will tell. But guys, for the sake of time, that is the end of the gaming news this week, which actually leads us into the final section of the podcast, which I know you guys saw the question, and no, there's no video game theater this week. Oh, man. I don't even know if I'm going to bring it back, man. I don't even know if y'all really liked it or not. I mean, shout out to my good brother, Mike J. Shout out to him, man. I haven't shouted Mike J out in a while, man. I mean, I know that good brother, he was very encouraging and said he enjoyed it, but I don't even know if you guys really rock with the video game theater. You had to let me know. But until then, it's kind of on ice a little bit at the minute. But let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's get into the official question of the week. Now, are GAAS games ruining gaming? I have to say, this GAAS model or games as a service, this thing is rampant in the gaming community. Everybody is trying to cash in. Everybody. You look around and all you see are people chasing this so-called gold mine. And as they're chasing this gold mine, I feel like single player games have taken a big dip when it comes to them releasing. Now, some people could say, I don't know if it's that bad, Kiaun, but you look at Rockstar. Rockstar has never been the same since Grand Theft Auto 5 released. I mean, not released, but the online portion of Grand Theft Auto 5. These guys have been on hiatus over 10 years. So, well, not quite 10. They actually did do Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So what, that's 18, 20, 22. So you're talking about still, that's 6 years, though, that they haven't really released any games. Again, everybody's trying to cash in. Seems like this, I mean, we see PlayStation. They're doing the same thing. I mean, Concord, that joker failed like a mother lover. So that's not making a comeback, but at least not at the moment. But we do see, Helldivers 2. That actually caught fire. Maybe not on as much fire as it used to be, but again, they're chasing it. Them actually thinking Destruction All-Stars was going to work. Them thinking Foam Stars was going to work. I understand that PlayStation might not have developed those games, but they were third-party deals. Their name was attached to those products, and they failed. They failed. So much so that Foam Stars is going free. I believe, next month? I think October. That game is going free to play. So it's just one of those situations where you just sit there. I mean, me as a single player gamer, I'm looking at it differently. I know I am. I might be even in the minority. I don't know if people play single player games like that anymore. I don't know. I would say so. I think single player games are like the pinnacle to me of gaming. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I don't want to play a game long term. I don't want to have to commit 500 hours, to get through a game online. I want to know that I'm making progress through a storyline to get me from point A to point Z, the end. So I'm looking at it from that lens. But I tell you, man, this GAAS, I just got such a problem with it. I feel like it definitely is ruining gaming to a certain degree. I feel like, again, everybody's so busy chasing that instead of, trying to chase something else. Again, I understand. I'm not going to keep beating this horse. I got to get out of here. That's the question for the week. Are GAAS ruining gaming? I would love to get you guys' thoughts. If you do want to be a part of the conversation, you can do that by emailing the show at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. I want to say again, shout out to you, Cody Clark. I haven't forgot you, brother, but man, I couldn't go over that today, brother. That joke is huge, but I got you. I got you, my brother. On the next one, I got you. But with that being said, though, guys, I was your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and again, thank you guys for being here. Thank y'all. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, before we officially wrap this thing up and put a bow on it, always remember one thing. It is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until, I guess, next Wednesday, when we do it again, until then, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.